DC here. Hi, guys and gals. Well, hoping you're all well. Um, I have just come over from my lunch break, and I think I've mentioned it before. The bench where I usually go, where there's tables and picnic tables and all that, that's all being cordoned off, so people can't go there anymore. Vloggers itch, but I have cleaned my hands before. Yeah, so here I am sitting on actually a rather old bench, but there is even a garbage bin. And as long as it's not raining, it's actually okay. I mean, I'm near the woods, you can hear the birds. And up to now, nobody ever seems to come to this bench, so I'm very happy. Hopefully, it's not a well known one. And it's nice and comfortable, it's a nice place. So if the weather's good, we'll see. We're not supposed to have any rain until at least until Saturday or Sunday. And we've been almost a month without any real rain. So it's not an easy situation right now for farmers and so on. So it's we would need some rain. I know that some people have had a lot. Send some over. Keep the storms, but just send some over. Yeah, things are going overall well. I'm going to take out one of these things in my ear so I can hear myself talk better. Yeah, so overall things are pretty okay. I was going to put it that way. Inspections and this and that. I'm glad. I'll be happy when things come back to the way they were before, even though some people say they won't. There was a person. Excuse me again. There was a person who went through different epidemics. As an epidemiologist, and he basically said one thing. He said, give it a few years, people will forget. They'll talk about it as the big epidemic or whatever, the pandemia. But he says people tend to forget. Nevertheless, we'll see. We'll see how true that is and how long it takes for that to happen. Yeah, I was walking over from work this morning, and I was listening to a podcast, and there was something going on about heroes. So not superheroes, heroes, people that are your role models and your heroes and things like that. And one of the things that was coming out is that was saying, you should never put a hero on on a pedestal and not realize that that hero fell off it every now and then. We're all human beings, and none of us are perfect or ideal. That was an interesting thing. Of course, I mean, I think I've even said that in vlogs before. I mean, it's a known fact. That if you do too much hero worship, when you find out about the person's faults, it can be sometimes for some people devastating. But yeah, you know, I guess the thing is that it's part of what is truth, and there was Pontius Pilate that said that at one time to Jesus, "What is truth?" And for in today's world, a lot of people would say there is no truth. I find that's actually garbage, but that would be a vlog on its own. But what is true is that in today's world, there's a lot of polarized views, and very often, I mean, it's as we've talked before about politically correct, sometimes to say some things and sometimes not, and depending on who is the stronger political side, yeah. So I mean, this is the whole thing about that. I saw actually, I was thinking about that because I saw on, it must have been the New York Times. I think it was in the text section. I don't always like the New York Times anymore that much for its political bias at times, and I don't mean because we all know most medias are left leaning, but there's certain derangement syndrome there right now. But having said that, there was an article about YouTube. That's why it caught my eye, because it was, saying how YouTube could be dangerous. And I read it, and what they meant is that with the suggested views and so on, that people became radicalized and went to very right-wing things and stuff like that. And I was thinking, well, there's a part of truth in that, and I do say there is a part of truth, and I would say that some people can become radicalized. They'll do it on either Facebook groups or they might do it on YouTube. They were suggesting, should we remove the suggested videos and that. But you know something? It goes on both sides of the political divide. Far right, far left, and so on. Then you have the conspiracy theories that are on there as well, and so on. Somebody once said, YouTube should do this and YouTube should do that. Well, the thing is, YouTube is actually not a public domain, is it? I mean, it's owned by a private company, so I suppose they could do what they want. But if they leave it relatively open, then it's a platform for everybody. And I guess something. Some people maybe should realize that sometimes you have to see what people that don't think like you, what they say and what they think. First off, it's to have intelligent responses, to create your own apologetics if you want. But also, it's, sometimes you can be wrong. It does happen, doesn't it? Sometimes you can be wrong, and it's rather good, to see if that happens. I'm just checking the time because there's a glare there. Yeah, and the whole idea behind that is education. I mean, we're not all watching YouTube videos right now to learn how to cut your hair, although I have looked at a few. And somebody once said we're not all watching videos to learn how to cut your hair and to look at kittens and things like that. No, actually, we like to watch and we like to listen to our friends as well. I mean, not all our vlogging friends might have always the same opinions as we do. But there is sometimes with many of us, I would say, a rather good and a good streak, of agreeing to disagree. It's not always a question of saying, "Oh, I agree with everything you say." No, you don't even agree with everything your friends, your kids, your spouse says, and so on. So, that's part of life, actually. Yeah. So I guess that's enough for just a quick lunchtime vlog, and I'm around 7.5 minutes, so it's not such a quick one anyway, but I'm going to try not make 12 minutes like the last time. Okay, everybody. So I'm going to have my lunch now and watch a few YouTube videos, probably. Who knows? Anyway, DC, signing off, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.